Hi, I'm Stephanie with Baby Lock, and if you're anything like me, you have a bazillion t-shirts that are just hanging around your house that need something to be done with them, but you can't throw them out because they have memories attached to them. So something great to do with your t-shirts is make a t-shirt quilt. Oftentimes t-shirt quilts can be really intimidating because it seems like a really big project, but we're going to break it down and give you some great tips and tricks to help make it easy for you. Okay, so a couple of things that you will need is a lightweight fusible interfacing. You'll need about a ½ yard to 20 inches per shirt, depending on how large your shirts are. Obviously, all of your t-shirts. You are going to need a rotary cutter, a cutting mat, and a ruler. And then for your machine, we're really just going to use a 7511 universal needle because all of our shirts will be interfaced, so we don't need anything special for that. Just a regular old 7511 needle. To get started, you don't even need to decide on a rough size just yet. I would recommend a 15 or 16 inch square, but what you'll want to do is grab your largest logo and your smallest shirt. And that way you can kind of measure how much fabric you can get out of your smallest shirt. And sometimes you can squeak a little bit more from the sides when you cut it. So that's a good way to kind of determine. You'll just measure your smallest shirt to see how much you can get out of it, and your largest logo. You'll measure that to kind of give you a base size. But before you even start on your square sizes, what you can do is cut all of your shirts. Some shirts you'll want to keep the front and the back. So if that's the case, then what you'll want to do is cut as close to the side as you can to preserve as much fabric on the front and the back for both of them. But if you don't need to save the back, then we're just going to jump right in and I'll show you how to cut it. So first I like to cut off the sleeves. Leave some excess over here. Just in case you need part of the sleeve. Then we're just going to clip right down the center. And this allows us maximum use of fabric on the sides, just in case you were to need it. Okay, and then you'll cut your shoulders. See, this isn't scary at all. It seems like it, but it's really not. You'll get used to it. Once you get them all cut, that'll look so nice and pretty. Okay, so see, this allows us to get extra fabric out of the sides here. Okay, so after that's done, if you want to cut any of this excess off, you can. Just always leave a little extra fabric if you can. That will minimize mistakes. Okay, so you can do that with all of your t-shirts. And then you'll want to cut about 18 to 20 inch lightweight interfacing pieces. And what you're going to do, follow the instructions on the packaging, and you're going to interface the back side of your t-shirt first before you cut it. Okay, so that'll stabilize all of your fabric. I like to start the top of my interfacing up by the neckline, up past the neckline even. Alright, we'll flip that back over and now we can square it up. So you're going to need your rotary cutter and your ruler now. And I like to square my graphic up as much as I can with the board. But remember that graphics oftentimes are not center, and they're a lot of times not straight either. So just do the best you can. Your first cut, you'll want to be as close to that neckline as possible. Okay, so because a lot of times graphics are up closer to the neckline than the hem. If that's the case, if it is a graphic that's closer to the hem, then you'll want to cut closer over that way. but we're going to cut right off at the neckline. And then you can go down however big your square is. So let's see, we're going to do a 16-inch square. So I'm going to go down 16 inches and cut off there. Okay, then I'll turn it towards me. And again, remember that graphics oftentimes are not centered, so you can kind of center it at this point. And sometimes they're crazy off to where you just do the best you can. In the end, it all looks really great. So a lot of times I'll even cut more to cut less. So I'll cut it bigger than I need to and cut it down after that. Again, that will minimize mistakes. So let's see. But here I think we have a good 16-inch square. And see here I can go out a little bit more because it was closer to one sleeve than the other. So I made it a 1/2 inch bigger. And I can decide from there if I need to cut down both sides. You can kind of measure from the side to side. And actually it looks like I could probably cut down a 1/4 inch. Okay, so just take your time when you're cutting, because it's always a bummer to go a little bit small. If anything, cut big to cut down. Okay, and then it's all nice, pretty interfaced, and you have nice, stable shirts. So do that for all of your shirts, and it'll look really pretty. Okay, now that after you get all of your t-shirts cut out and in a nice pretty stack, it's really pretty straightforward from there. So you're going to use your universal needle in your machine, and we are using the Baby Lock Catherine today. And basically you're just going to place one t-shirt on top, pretty sides together in a row, and then you're going to just use the edge of the presser foot as a seam guide. Just a straight stitch, 2.5 stitch length, back stitch at the beginning, come on down and back stitch at the end, and create your rows. And then you're going to sew all of your rows together. So once you have your t-shirt top done, just reminisce in the memories of that quilt, and I am telling you, it looks awesome when it's all done and it's all worth the work. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out babylock.com for more fun tutorials and inspiration.